Hello everyone, in this video we will get to know about the Israel-Palestine war, why it began and what's happened so far. It's just an overview of this conflict, so let's get started. On October 7 at around 6:30 am, Hamas-led Palestine militants made a surprise attack on Israel by firing over 5,000 rockets in just 20 minutes from the Gaza Strip. After the invasion, they started firing and killing a large number of Israeli civilians and soldiers in the towns and took hundreds of civilians and seized soldiers with them as hostages to ease its future negotiations with Israel about releasing Palestinian prisoners. But why Hamas made this surprise attack? As it stated, it's a response to the violent confrontations that occurred between Palestinians and Israeli police in April 2023. Let's take a look at this incident. A few months back, on April 4th, a few hundred Palestinians barricaded themselves in the Al-Aqsa Mosque after Ramadan prayer amid concern that Israeli Jews might come to the Temple Mount to perform a ritual sacrifice. The Al-Aqsa is a contested mosque located in the old city of Jerusalem, Israel, as you can see in this picture. So, in order to clear the crowd, Israeli police raided the mosque. According to them, when they entered the mosque, stones were thrown and fireworks fired at them by Palestinians. And as Palestinians said, stun grenades and rubber bullets were used by police in the early morning raid on 5th April. As per the data, at least 50 people were injured and 400 people were arrested on that day. It might be the reason for Hamas as it named its October 7th terror attack as Operation Al-Aqsa Flood, and they made this attack on the Jewish holiday of Sukkot. Sukkot is a 7-day Jewish festival which was celebrated between 29 September to 6th October in this year. Coincidentally, 7th October was also the 50th anniversary day of the Yom Kippur War or 4th Arab-Israeli War of 1973. As Hamas launched rockets towards Israel, the Israeli mobile air defense system Iron Dome got activated and successfully intercepted 90% of the rockets, but a few of the remaining hit the buildings in Jerusalem and Tel Aviv. This surprise attack infuriated Israel, and after being attacked by Hamas, Israeli government immediately convened emergency meeting to handle the crisis. As government order, Israeli Defense Force launched Operation Swords of Iron to counter-attack in the Gaza Strip and sent troops to southern region of Israel to reclaim the towns that had occupied by Hamas militants, and Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu officially declared that Israelis they are at war. In the early morning of October, the day after the attack, the Israeli Defense Force attacked Gaza and destroyed all 426 sites that had been used to launch the attack in the airstrikes. Later on that day, Hezbollah, a Lebanese militant group, and Palestinian militants jointly launched guided rockets and artillery on Sheba Farms. Sheba Farms is a small strip of land located in the Lebanese-Syria border. It was occupied by Israel in 1967, Third Arab-Israeli War, and Israel also made a counterattack by firing artillery into an area of Lebanon. On the third day of the attack, Israel cut off food, power, water, and fuel supplies to Gaza, and the European Union suspended all its development aid to Palestine after Germany and Austria, because many of the countries condemned Hamas terror attacks on Israel. And within 3 days of the attack, Israeli troops regained control over the southern towns of Israel, which had been occupied by Hamas militants. As Israel continued its counterattack more deeply on Gaza, Hamas threatened to kill the Israeli hostages if the Israel continued to strike. But despite Hamas threats, Israel continued its operations. On 10th October, Israeli Defense Force struck the Arch Tower and destroyed several places in Gaza like Daras al-Furqan, Rimal, Al-Karama and Port of Gaza, and two Hamas political office members were died in an airstrike. On 11th October, Gaza's only power plant ran out of fuel and completely shut down, and Hamas continued to fire rockets at Ashkelon. On the other side, India launched Operation Ajay to evacuate 18,000 Indian citizens from Israel after Israeli Prime Minister's assurance. On the next day, Israel started ground invasion in the second phase of their operation and gave a 24 hours deadline to Palestinians to leave the North Gaza and asked to go south. But World Health Organization asked Israel to rescind its evacuation order as it is very difficult to evacuate such a large number of people, but Israel stood on its decision. Later that day, Israel said it killed Hamas aerial operations head Abu Murad. On the next day, Israel Defense Force killed one more Hamas General Military Council member, Ayman Nofal, in an airstrike in central Gaza. On 21st October, Israel allowed 28 trucks to enter Gaza from Egypt after United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres visited to Rafah crossing and pled Israel to let 8 trucks to Gaza. On the next day, Israeli military said it killed Shadi Baruth, the deputy head of Hamas Intelligence Directorate, along with other 3 commanders in October 26th airstrike. After 21 days of the beginning of this conflict, on 28th October, UN adopted a resolution in the General Assembly where 120 countries backed humanitarian truce to end the war, while 14 countries were against it, and India abstained from voting with other 44 nations. But Israel Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu did not agree with this. As he said, call for a ceasefire is a call for Israel to surrender Hamas, to surrender terrorism. It would not happen, and Israel wouldn't stop until they won the war. As of now, more than 8,500 Palestinians and nearly 1,400 Israeli people's deaths have been reported due to this war. And as I said earlier, it's just an overview. I have mentioned only important points in this video about this conflict, and controversial events are not discussed here. I hope this video is informative. Let me know your opinion in the comment section given below. Thank you for watching.